guys, here's what we're making today. The Takisha by Car Threads. All leather. This checkered is leather, the black is leather. It's just gorgeous. The Takisha. These thumb locks are the slim thumb locks. So under here is a slip pocket, huge slip pocket. Zipper pocket in back. Top zipper closure. And on the inside you have slip pockets and another zipper pocket and tons of room. Very cute. Very cute. And just some accent. This is also leather. I mean, it's so cute. All right. This is what we're making. Go get the pattern and let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do a recorded version of the Takisha. And I'm doing it out of leather. So here's the pattern. You'll see the finished product before this clip, but here it is. This is a Car Threads pattern. I did it partially live with Lori the other day, but I always like to do a recorded version because some people don't like all the chit chat, and that's perfectly okay. So I'm going to do a recorded version. We're doing it out of black and white leather. And here is the accent leather. I did skive the sides and I put foam on the outside pieces. Just a nice foam layer. But this is the accent. The rest of it is black. It's going to be very cute. I am doing a 1.5 inch crossbody strap because the leather I had that I used, I don't have any pieces long enough. And I don't like to put leather pieces together. It just doesn't work well. So let's do it. All right, so first thing we're gonna do our strap. So this is a 1.5 inch strap. And I'm putting my strap, I do have a piece of leather on the ends. Here, I'll show you in a second. So just a piece of leather. And rather than sew it, I am going to put 2 rivets in there. So let me grab my rivets. So I put 2 rivets there. I don't usually put rivets in webbing, but because these are, you know, you press them pretty tight, I feel okay with it. So let's put our swivel clasp on. Make sure we don't have it twisted. Perfect. Up and through. And repeat that with the rivets here. So I'll do that off camera. I'm just putting 2 rivets right here. All right, so I did my strap. Looks really good. Black, black, black. I love it. Yeah. So that's the strap. Now we're going to do the tab. And I am using one of my slim locks. So I make my tab just a little smaller. I did put a piece of foam inside there as well. So I traced it on these 2 pieces and then I'll just cut it out when I'm done. I'm going to start up here so I can back stitch. And this is leather, and I did skive this leather. Okay, now we'll cut it out. Now she calls for a twist lock. I'm just doing this thumb lock because I like the way it looks. So let's cut these. I'm going to get my really sharp scissors. And I'm just going to trim that off. All right, so I am going to edge coat this. So I'm going to do my first layer, and I got these new applicators. We'll see how I like them. I don't know. This is just a base coat. I don't know. Okay. Just cleaning it up a little. I don't know if I like those. We'll see. Okay. So I'm just going to put it on top of here and let it dry, and then we'll do another coat. This is some new base coat that I have. It's Uniter's Edge Paint Primer. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to put that over here. To dry. All right, let's move on. Next step. All right, so we have our top piece, and we're adding our thumb lock right sides together on the straight edge. And I'm just basting that in place to start with. Okay. Then we're going to measure up a certain distance. If I can grab a ruler. And do a little square. So we're going to do a little square, and that just holds the thumb lock in place. Make sure it's nice and straight. All right. So that's what you have. If you used any marker that can be removed, just do that. Okay, so we have that now. So when this is down, it'll come down like this and go into our thumb lock. Perfect. All right, so take your front pocket back, and we're going to lay these right sides together, and I'm going to do my centers. Okay, right sides together and stitch that together. Seam allowance in the pattern, which is pretty consistent. Okay, then we're going to lift that up and we're going to top stitch that seam on the lining piece. All right, so that's what you have. Cute. Next, and then take your front pocket lining and lay those. This is your front pocket exterior and your front pocket lining. Lay those right sides together, and we're going to stitch across the top. Same seam allowance. There is a slight curve, so just follow the curve. Then turn those wrong sides together. And top stitch. Okay. This leather sews very nicely. All right. Then we're going to lay that on top. Now, I don't have my other part of my thumb lock on because I wanted to get this on before I determined where it's going to go. So let me decide. All right, so I determined where mine's going to go. And these thumb locks, you always want to make sure you know how they're connected. And the top part is like this. So it connects, it goes in like this. So the hoop is at the top. So just keep that in mind. And I am adding an extra little piece of Decaville, then my washer. And just make sure you get it on there nice and snug. Perfect. And I'll add a little piece of fleece there. To cover that up. Okay. There we go. Now we will add this and baste this all the way around. There is a tiny bit of give, just a tiny bit. So just make sure you match up the sides. And let's baste that all the way around. Okay. Let's just make sure, turn it over and make sure we caught it. And we did. So there is your pocket. Isn't that cute? You open it up and you have a huge pocket there. Very cute. So the next step is to do your D-rings. So they end up being 3/4 inch D-rings. This is both of them together. Excuse me. Fold this in. You will have a raw edge on the inside. It won't be seen. And we're going to stitch down each side, and then we'll cut it in two. Okay. Let's cut it in two. Grab your D-rings. Grab some tape. She tells you how far to measure. To fold everything to. So just like that. All right. Same with this one. Make sure you're folding the raw edges in. They're not out. Ask me how I know. Add your D-ring. All right. There we go. Then we're going to grab your pattern piece, and we're just going, I put a piece of tape on the back of here, and we're going to just attach it right in the hole that she gives you on the pattern piece. Makes it very easy. So there's one. And these, for me, get attached with rivets. 2 rivets. There we go. Perfect. Let me grab some ribbon. All right, so there I have my 2 D-rings. Aren't they cute? Now we're going to attach our base. And I did, because I'm using leather, used a piece of Selpa that I glued down. It's just a stabilizer for leather. And then we're going to sew that together. This is kind of funny because my foam is getting sticky on my flatbed. It's kind of funny. All right, now we're going to fold that down with the seam towards the bottom and top stitch. And we'll repeat that on the other side. Okay, same thing. All right, now that is our exterior gusset. Nice. This Selpa gives it some good stability. So now we're going to repeat that with the lining gusset, but the lining gusset has these little top extenders that we want to attach. To the top. They're not really extenders, they're upper lining. Sew those together. Let me see at the I'm going to do my slip pocket. So this is the slip pocket, long ways, wrong sides together. We're just going to baste all the way around, and then we'll add our top trim piece. Here's my trim piece. Oop. It's just a 1-inch piece divided down the middle. And tape on each end. Each long end. I did not skive this piece. I may regret that. We'll see. I think it'll be fine. All right, let's top stitch that. Okay, then I'll cut off the excess. Just always make sure that you catch the back with your top stitching. All right. Perfect. So let me grab my lining piece and we'll just go ahead and attach it. All right, so measure up from the bottom where to place your pocket. It's kind of hard to see because it's all checkered. But my checkers are pretty straight. I'm kind of surprised. Let's just baste that on. Alrighty. Then I am going to divide this pocket. And I think I'm just going to divide it. Let's see. I'm going to go 4 inches over. You do you. It really doesn't matter. You can divide it right down the middle, but I like to always have one pocket that's a little bigger than the other. So I just went in 4 inches, and then I'm going to divide it. Okay. So that side of our slip pocket lining is done with our slip pocket. Cute. All right, so while I'm waiting on my tab to dry, we're going to do the back zipper pocket. So take your facing, mark on your facing exactly like she tells you to, and we're going to stitch that on. This foam doesn't slide very good on my machine flatbed. It's got sticking. All right, now we're gonna cut over, measure over a certain distance. She tells you in the pattern. Let me see exactly what it is. Let me see. Yeah. And just make a mark. And that's where we're gonna go to the corner and cut this piece out. All right. Grab some very sharp scissors and cut that line. Don't cut your stitches all the way to the corner. Okay. And then we're just going to trim that out. Yeah. I'm really just trimming the leather. I don't need that bulk in there. Okay. Then we will push that back. And I'm going to use a few wonder clips. And get your facing back there. Whoop. I'm going to clip on the floor. I feel like I'm a success. This is a little more challenging because I didn't skive all the way down. It probably would have been helpful to skive it a little further, but it'll be fine. All right, so that's what you have. And that's what it looks like on the back. Let me grab my zipper. Take your zipper pocket, and I put tape on both sides. I'm going to take the bottom one off first. Grab your zipper with your zipper pull to the closing to the right. And we're going to just baste that. The pocket and the zipper are right side up. I'm going to baste that in place. Okay, then we're going to turn it over and top stitch it closed. or flat, I should say. Just like I do on all my zippers. She actually tells you to do it too. It's nice because it makes your zipper nice and flat, so when you put it in, it looks really good, right? So there you have it. Now, with your zipper, and one of the handy things about this zipper jig is you can use it to close your zipper. You know, when you have to open your zipper for some reason, you can just use this to close it. It's so nice. See how easy that is? I'm not even using it to put it on, just closing it. I love it. All right, now I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use tape. I think I am. All right, so the next step is we already did this piece, and we're going to attach it to our zipper pocket. Nice and evenly. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to stitch down the side and around. And I'm just trying to make sure this is nice and flush on my zipper. Okay, perfect. All right. That looks pretty good, really. You know, my materials are thicker because I'm using leather. Even though I skived it, it's still a little thicker. So there you have your pocket. Cute. Bring your other side of your zipper pocket lining up to the remaining raw edge of your zipper tape. Okay. Just like that. Hold on a second. Okay, so that's taped up there. We're gonna, this is right side up. We're gonna fold our sides up and sew down the sides of the pocket. Okay. And same, I'm going to come up this way. I think it'd be easier with my foot that I'm using. All right, there we go. Now, cut off any extra zipper and burn the end. And here I'm going to come up this way too. I have a little skinnier foot on this side, so I'm just going back over that again. There we go. I don't like to change my zipper, my foot anymore. I'm leaving my walking foot on there. And I'll change it if I have to, but I prefer not to if I don't have to. Okay. Yeah. Cut off the excess zipper, all my extra threads. Burn your zipper. Perfect. So now you have a nice zipper pocket. Now we're going to add our top to this. Let me find that. Okay, so your back top panel, and we're going to sew that across that zipper pocket and the edge of the zipper at the seam allowance in the pattern. Get your zipper hole out of the way. Okay. Perfect. Now we're going to top stitch there. Nice. That looks really nice. So that completes your pocket. Your zipper pocket back here. And this is where I did put my tag. And this is what it looks like on the back. Very cute. Next tab. All right, so let's make the interior zipper pocket. Found our centers. And we're going to go down what she tells you to in the pattern. And we're going to add our zipper overlay. Centered. Perfect. Let's stitch around the outside of that. Pull that to the back. tie those off. And I always even up my threads so I don't fight one long thread. It makes it 100% easier, at least for me. Okay, cut those off. Cut away that interior. Let's add some more tape there. All right, let's do our zipper pocket. So you have your two lining pieces, and we're going to add our zipper tape right side up with our pocket right side up. And we're going to stitch that on. Put that over and stitch it flat. And repeat that with the other side of the lining. See how nice and flat that makes your zipper? So you don't have to fight that when you're putting it in your overlay. So nice. All right, let's put this on. Okay. All right, let's stitch around the inside. And I'm going to pull those threads to the inside too. Alrighty, let's tie those off. All right, nice little zipper pocket. Black on black on black. All right, let's pull this down, even it up. And we're going to turn it right side up and stitch the sides closed. We'll leave the bottom open. Same thing over here. And we'll trim off our excess zipper tape. And then I always clip my little corners so it makes it easier to turn when I'm ready to. So then it's so much easier to do it this way. Sometimes I don't do it and I regret not doing it because it really does make a big difference. All right, there's your little pocket. Oh, we gotta burn our zipper ends. All right, so we're gonna turn our top zipper down at a 90 degree and just baste that in place. Just make sure they're even. And just put a few stitches in there to keep it nice and straight. And then we're going to trim that excess off and burn our zipper tape. All right. Nice and even. Grab your zipper panel. All right, take your zipper panel and fold those down on each short end, just like she tells you. Then we're going to measure up from one short end and add our zipper tape. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of tape. And we're going to add that right side down. Let me grab a clip. I just clip, and you could put a staple here. I just clip it. We're going to add our zipper tape right side down at that mark that we drew. And then we're going to bring this end down. And you could put another piece of tape if you wanted to. I'm just going to clip it. Okay, and then we're going to sew the seam allowance in the pattern. Let me see what it is. Yeah. And then we will trim this corner. You're not cutting your zipper tape, and this corner, just to get rid of some of that bulk. Pull your zipper tape away. Don't trim your zipper tape. So just enough to get rid of that extra bulk here, here, and here. And I need that because this is leather. It's a little thicker. So then we're just going to poke that out and top stitch. Okay. All right. Darn it. Let me get a new All right, let's add this other side. Oops, I always measure the wrong side. Oh, dear. Let's see. Face down. And pull that down. I am going to put a piece of tape here because I don't know that it stayed where I wanted it to on the other one. Perfect. All right, let's sew this side up. All right. That looks really good, actually. Next step. All right, so find the center of your zipper placket on both sides. Take your lining piece with the zipper pocket, and we're going to add that one first so that our zippers go the same direction. Now, if you don't care about that, then, you know, you do you. I'm just going to base that in place. which is our last pieces. It's a beautiful thing. Find the centers. On both your pieces. And add the straight edge on top of that. And then this will be the full seam allowance. I'm stuck for some reason. Let's see what happens here. Let me fix it. All right, then turn that with the seam allowance going down. Okay. Seam allowance going down. And stitch on the lining piece. Alrighty. And we'll repeat that with the other side of our lining and our zipper placket. Baste that on. And add your upper lining. Straight edge. Full seam allowance. Turn it and top stitch. Perfect. So now you have a nice zipper panel. And on the inside is your lining. I love it. So the next step is to put our gussets on. So I'm going to start with the outside. I'm going to clip my corners a tiny bit. On both sides, just a little. 5 or 6 clips maybe. Make sure you only do half your seam allowance. It fits beautifully. Okay, and I have a little cut right here. Let me fix that. So I had a little cut right here, and usually I just put a piece of tape, and then once you sew it, it's all good. All right, let's do it. Let me make sure what the seam allowance is. I'm sure it's the same. Let me see. Yep. Can you hear the leather making that noise? It's a beautiful sound. I am going to go around again on this one. I don't always, but I am on this one because it's leather. And I don't want any stitches showing through. And we always start about 1 inch down because we want to be able to lay that top flat. stop about an inch right here. Okay, that allows us to lay that flat open, which I'm gonna just put a little piece of tape and lay it open now. I have to go get some more tape. Now, this is leather, so I could have glued this, but I really only need it to stay flat until I sew at the top. So it'll be fine. Okay, let's add the other side, which is the back. And I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with our lining. And I'll do that on fast forward because it's exactly the same process. All right, I am going to leave this side open, and I'm going to leave a huge hole in the bottom, just because my leather is a little stiffer than some other fabrics, and I don't want to struggle with it. The other thing is, she does have you increase your seam allowance, so to get a nice fit, just make sure you're doing that. Okay, so I stopped right here, way over here. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. That'll be so much easier. All right. And I did clip my pocket up out of the way. So now this turning hole, just see how big that turning hole is? That'll be easier. I am going to just trim this seam. Okay, let's put it together. Okay, so turn your lining right side out, and we're going to add the lining inside the exterior. And I want my zipper pocket on the lining to be in the back. Yeah. All right, and then we're just going to match it all up, and I'm going to top stitch it on Thor. And I'm going to use these clips. It takes a village of clips, you know? I didn't used to. I just exclusively used Wonder Clips. Now, I don't know how I did it without it. You have a slight little curve here on the top, which is nice. Your zipper panel wants to stick up, so just make sure it's pushed down. Okay. I will do this stitching here. No, I won't. I'm going to go to Thor. It's easier. All right, here we go. This will be easier. That's what I say. My zipper panel is wanting to stick up. There we go. Let me grab my threads. Okay, here we go. beautiful thing. Okay. All right, let's turn it. This is even going to be tough to turn, but I think we can do it. Not bad. Leaving that bigger hole was genius, Orb. Genius. Oh my gosh, this might have to be my new bag. I know I say that with every bag. I can't help it. I have a thing for black and white though too, so we'll see. Oh my gosh, this leather. Stunning. Not one pucker. Let's see. Nope, not one pucker. Okay, we're going to top stitch before we close up the inside. Hold on. All right, let's clip it and do our top stitching. So I did skive this leather, but these corners I'm gonna have to probably hammer or press because they're thick, you know. We will get it done. Sorry, I think there's some noise going on. Okay, let me do some hammering. I'll do that off camera. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna start over here on the back corner. I mean, hammering that down makes a huge difference. Huge difference. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pull the thread to the inside, so. No back stitching. It's like butter. there's my zipper. Let me get that out of the way. And let's pull this. Trying to grab my thread. There we go. Oh my. All right. Let's pull that to the back. Kind of hard to see black on black, you know. Okay. Definitely even up these threads. I'm telling you, it'll make your life so much easier. And tie those off. Clip it. And burn it. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that top stitching. The worst perfection. Let me move this over just a little. Okay, now we're going to close the inside. Open your zipper pocket if you didn't. Pull that out. And pull your lining through your zipper pocket. This is the cleanest way to finish a bag that I have found. Let me see. Got some clips here. Find my center. And we're going to sew the bottom closed, and then we'll sew the zipper pocket closed. Remember, when you're finishing this, it's a bigger seam allowance. Hold your threads. I'm going to trim that since the rest of the bottom was trimmed. my scissors. Just a bunch of bolts down there you don't need. Okay, put that down in. Close up your zipper pocket. And then we're done. I think, oh, I gotta put a zipper end on. Okay, close that up. Hold your threads. Your pocket down back in there. Straighten it out. It fits like a glove. Let me go grab a zipper in. All right, I trimmed it just a little. And now I'm going to fold it over. Add our zipper end. Perfect. Hold on to my tiny screws. Okay, so this occasionally happens. And don't fret if it does. You're gonna need to make a hole for the screw. It occasionally happens. I would say 25% of the time you have to make a hole for the screw. Not always, but sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so cute. Here's my strap. Gonna be hard to get rid of this one. If I have to, I could make myself a new one, another one. I mean, it turned out perfect. I just don't know how it would be any better. The Takisha by Car Threads. One of my slim blocks. I do have them in matte black now. You open that up and you have a huge slip pocket. The whole width of the bag. On the back, you have a nice, good sized zipper pocket there. And then you have a top zipper closure. You open that up and you have two slip pockets over here and a zipper pocket over here, and then tons of room. Oh my gosh, I just love it. It's a nice medium. It's not big, it's not small. I mean, I love it. Let me put it on for you. If I can get back here without knocking everything off. This is all leather. This is leather. All the black is leather. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click the thumbs up. That really helps me. And feel free to like, and comment. The Takisha by Car Threads. Thanks for watching. This will be for sale on my website. As much as I hate to do it, I have too many bags. All right. Thanks for watching.